everyone. Welcome back into Primetime TV Show. I'm your host, Barbara Marville-Kelly. With me is my co-host, friend, partner, forever and ever, Master Kelly.
How about that?
I know. That's a lot, isn't it?
Good being here again.
It is.
I missed this last week.
I tell you.
I was here.
Were you here?
But I missed it.
But you missed the show. You missed watching it? You haven't
right.
even seen it from last week?
I know, right.
Well, we've been really busy. I mean, every day is a new day. We had a great weekend this weekend, and up and running at it first thing this morning, getting ready for the show, because we always have some great new things to share with you. So I want to say thank you for joining us here on Primetime every Monday at 2 p.m., and the shows are archived, so you can take them and share them and just spread the word. We're looking to get this show to go globally around the world over and over, because we are making a difference. We've been hearing about it for many, many years, and now we continue to use this platform right here on webeamtv.com. Write it down and tell all your friends. We have a lot to share with you today, and today is actually Lives Rebuilt Part 4. And how we can all learn from the masters. We have Grandmaster Dennis Kelly, who is a 6-time world martial arts champion, and our very special guest, 9 times martial arts champion, Mary Louise Zeller. I had to get that in there. 9, right? Okay? Just as a girl, I just had to do that. Always do that. And there's Mary Louise right now. Hey, girl!
How are you? I'm so glad to be here again with you today.
I know. I'm up at 4:30 every morning, and Monday mornings it's really special because I get to plan for the show, and it's so from the heart. And to have you as, pretty soon we're going to be calling this the Mary Louise Zeller Show. I think it certainly warrants that.
I don't think so. You're the master in this game.
Well, we certainly try to do that mastership with our lives, and I always like to open the show with a very inspirational video of yourself and what you've gone through in your life. And basically what we're going to share throughout today is what we've all done to step into our own self-mastery. And if this inspirational video of Mary Louise isn't enough to get you motivated and inspired, I don't know what is. So we're going to go to that right now, and we'll be right back and talk more live and unrehearsed with Mary Louise Zeller. Stay with us.
The story of Mary Louise Zeller is one of finding confidence by becoming more internal. Her struggle began when her 18-month-old son fell from a 2-story window and was critically injured.
I was depressed. I cried a lot. I could be driving down the road and I'd start crying. The baby held me together. I had to take care of him. Well, one Sunday morning, I was reading the newspaper, and I saw an ad for Taekwondo, and it said to improve focus and concentration, of which I had none. It said to strengthen self-confidence, of which I had none. I mean, if you can't keep your own child safe, how good a mother are you? I mean, it's like my self-confidence was shattered. So, and then I was way overweight and out of shape, and it said get fit. So I said, wow, that sounds like more fun than running and weightlifting and aerobics. And so I answered the ad, and I was just going in to check it out in Master Kim in Vallejo, California. He handed me a uniform. He says, here, put this on. There's something about the way a master says, here, put this on. You go, oh, okay. I wasn't going to do that, but okay. And he taught me a lesson. He said, come back tomorrow. So I did. And I noticed that I felt more alive. And the more active I got physically, the more settled my mind got, the more settled my emotions got. The first 2 weeks, my muscles were so sore, I slept in the bathtub. Really. It was the only place I could sleep. I had to bounce down the stairs on my bottom, crawl up them. I don't know how I kept going, but it gave me a feeling of being alive again. It gave me hope. It did give me self-confidence. The ad was true. People told me I was too old. I started when I was 44. And I was too old, especially when, okay, you're gonna compete. The first time Master Kim said, I want you to come to a competition, I thought he meant the mommy things, cheerlead, drive, make sandwiches. You know, and he says, oh no, you will compete. It's the same thing, give you a uniform, put it on. I go, oh, okay, I'll compete. And I was terrified, I couldn't even get a deep breath. And I just did it anyway. And after it was over, I was like, wow. It was like being in high school again, getting on the bus, going to the basketball game. But I lost every match I fought for 2 years. You'd think you would just get discouraged and quit. But I finally went out there, instead of holding back, trying to stay safe. This is full contact Taekwondo. We wear protective gear in the Olympic style, but it is full contact. So I was trying to be safe. Well, you can't win trying to be safe. You can be safe trying to be safe, but you can't win. So I just got out there and I was going, I'm not losing one more time. I'm gonna win this match. That poor opponent of mine, I went after like a banshee. She was like, oh my gosh, somebody dragged this grandmother off of me. You know, so, and from then on out, I saw that I had something to do with it. Somewhere along the line, I said, I want to go to the Olympics. I'm sure that God has a sense of humor now, because to give me a desire to go to the Olympics when I'm, 55 years old, that's a sense of humor. And everybody thought I was ridiculous. But you know what? I gave them a run for their money. In the South, they'll say, it's better to shoot for the moon and hit the fence than to shoot for the fence and hit the ground. So I shot for the moon. I got 4th in the 18 and over division in full contact fighting, which requires speed, strength, stamina, endurance, amazing quickness. It is a sport of quickness. You really have to have a big dream to be alive. Power and passion in life live in that domain. The power of being internal is to actually be at the source of power. When I'm making a difference, I'm happy. If I can inspire you, look, you don't have to look forward to drooling in an old folks' home when you get older. When I'm 80, I'm gonna be on the mat in some form or fashion. Some mat, like whatever your mat is. I'm gonna be on the mat, playing the game. What I would like to leave you with, the one thing, is something that your coach will tell you, leave it on the mat. When you go out, when you go out to give it all, and you gave it all, it is so rich. Leave it on the mat. So when you think you don't have anything left to give, you've got everything to give. Leave it on the mat. Leave it all. Don't leave this life without leaving it all. Just give it.
I'm so proud of what you've accomplished in your life. I mean, that is just so amazing, and we do want to let everybody know that Adam is doing very well today, right?
Absolutely. 32 years old.
Yes.
And my rock.
Yes, yes. I tell you, I can never see enough of that video, because I think today we're in times where people need that, actually need more of that in today's times, to be inspired and to be motivated. So we're going to get right down to the nitty-gritty here, and we're going to be talking about what it takes to master our lives. And I really want the two of you, Master Kelly and Master Louise, Mary Louise, to just jump right in there and get started with, we saw Mary Louise's, her video, her inspirational video that really got her going. I mean, that was a very, very critical moment in her life. It continues on with more of a story of mastered discipline, mastered health protocol, and everything that you both had to do in order to learn how to master that discipline. Mary Louise, 9 world championships. Master Kelly, 6-time world martial arts championships, and he was just talking during the video clip. He took his last one at age 78, overcoming Parkinson's disease. And, I mean, that was crazy back in 2016. So what are the secrets? Whoever wants to jump in first, go right ahead. Mary Louise, I know you're just chomping at the bit.
Go for it, Mary.
Go for it.
Oh, I was going to bow to the Grand Master.
Well, I certainly appreciate that. And we have obviously a great deal of respect for each other. And that's something that, you know, you really has to earn it. You can't give somebody respect unless they earn it. And that's where the athlete comes to the super athlete. Because the super athlete uses sports as a metaphor for life. And the big challenge that we have is that when we do these marvelous things, so to speak, that we set an example to our family, to everybody. It's a big responsibility to be a world champion, because then people look up to you, and then a lot of people take advantage of that in a negative way. And I'm sure Mary Lou has a lot to add to that, because she lives it, breathes it, and is it in a way that is very hard to match.
It is. And that's why I really have such respect for both of you, because of all that discipline. I mean, I lived it with you, and the discipline was endless. It really was, because it wasn't just being in the ring and leaving you alone while you did your meditation, your prayer, and everything before you went in there, because, of course, you didn't want to hurt anyone, but yet you still came out as a world champion. And I watched that from home. Mary Louise, I've learned enough of you over time in the last 5 months to know that you both have the matched enthusiasm to accomplish a disciplinary program that brought you on top. And our viewing audience want to know, well, how can we do that in regular life? Maybe people don't want to become a martial arts champion, but in today's times, do you think we need to champion our life in the volatile times that we're in? It's almost like we're fighting for life today.
Well, I'll speak to that. I think what I've recognized in my life and what I've written about is the mastery game. So it doesn't matter so much what the game is, but it has several elements, the mastery game. First of all, you're trying to master something. Maybe it's a musical instrument. Maybe it's writing. Maybe it's relationship. Maybe it's, I don't know, any game any human being could think of, business. But I think the sports is a definite metaphor, especially martial arts. I love the martial arts because it taught me so much. So I didn't know about the mastery game until I started martial arts. And you have to be with a master to engage in the mastery game. So a mentor, somebody who has lived it, but who is of a good heart. I mean, we all saw The Karate Kid, right? So we know about the mean bully kind of master. That is no mastery. And then Mr. Miyagi, who taught through experience. And it is about reaching for excellence. So one of the things that's really served me in my life is to be excellent, and not just in sports. If you are in the space of excellence, the space of mastery, it is all inclusive. You must master and be excellent in all things, in your relationships. And that's one area that I think is very elusive for a lot of people. They can have extraordinary accomplishments in business, in sports, in other areas of life, and yet in the area of relationship, be disconnected, not satisfied, unfulfilled, like that. And one of the things, I'm a Christian, so I pray every day. And I think a lot of this is God's work. I think that's how I found my Master Kim. And then you must engage fully. And I just went to training every day. So you can't dabble. There's no mastery in dabbling. You engage fully in everything, in your relationships, in your business, in your spirituality. You must engage and have discipline in all things every day. So one of the things I do is actually schedule. So show up for training. Then you must practice what you learn. So it's always engaged in learning. I'm 76 years old right now, and I'm probably in the fastest growth and expansion learning phase of my life. I'm learning so much right now. And I'm fully engaged. You know, my Kayani business is a global marketing business. And what we really do is educate and teach leadership. A lot of that I learned in the martial arts again. After you are the student, until you get your black belt, you're only learning the basics so that you can begin your study of the martial arts. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And as I went up through the degrees or dans of black belt, each one created a new possibility of me. So there's so much growth and mastery. And if you're not growing, you're dying. So to be in the mastery game, regardless of your game, is to be fully alive. And then once you use that self-discipline. See, when we became world champions, you didn't get to see all the failures. I lost every match I fought for the first 2 years I competed. Until somewhere down deep inside me, I just was like, I am freaking not losing one more time. I felt really sorry for my opponent because she thought she got hit by a speeding train. And so I got to discover the power of intention. And so it's not just learning all the techniques. It's so all-inclusive of who we are as human beings. And it is intention to create something extraordinary. You know, I don't want to talk on and on and on about it, but we didn't know we could achieve what we achieved. We were engaged in discipline, learning, daily practice, mastering every little technique over and over and over again. I'm doing it in music right now, and it's sometimes really, really frustrating, and sometimes I go to perform and, you know, it's just awful, and then every now and then it all comes together and it's glorious, and, you know, they talk about the agony of defeat and the thrill and glory of victory. And the mastery game is to have it all. A lot of people won't risk it. They won't risk looking the fool. They won't risk losing. They won't risk full engagement. That's no life, you know. So to be fully alive, I highly recommend the mastery game. Take it on. Maybe it's the mastery of family and truly bringing joy and love to life. You know, it's one of the things, you know, I'm actually experiencing right now. I asked God, I said, you know, I don't think I've experienced the fullness of love. I really want to have it in my life.
And you have it.
Did I get it? You know, so, and it's requiring a lot of me.
Yes.
So go on, ask another question.
I know. I love listening to you because you're hitting the nerve with us, right?
Absolutely. Well, one thing I'd like to add to it, based on the same formula, is if you really want to be a world champion in anything, and it's the same principles, whether it be a karate match, whether it be a competition between two children that are very young or two men that are very old, it's all the same principle. It doesn't have anything to do with age. It doesn't have anything to do with that feeling. It is when you can balance your ego drive and empathy balance.
Ah. Mm-hmm.
Because this is the hardest thing to do, especially when you're in the limelight, to balance that ego drive and empathy balance. Ego drive is that insatiable desire to win. However, the problem sometimes people make that the main thing. I got to win. Winning is everything. And you don't realize that the real win is when you learn something from your defeats. I had every one of my tournaments videotaped. So when somebody beat me, I would go and play the video over and over. They never beat me again. They only beat me once, and that came from the ego drive. Sometimes I can get away from you a little bit, but I always try to keep that intact. Now, empathy balance, that is difficult too for most people, because empathy is your feeling held the right way. It's that balance. If you have poor empathy balance, you have a poor conception of life, in a sense that you'll be usually too aggressive, or you won't give credit where credit's due. Is that empathy balance and not sympathy. Some people get it mixed up with sympathy. Sympathy only, what it does, it magnifies the challenge. But empathy is where you understand how that person feels, but you don't let it change your feelings. Because if it does change your feelings, you are of no help to that individual. You're a hindrance to that individual. That's why somebody going in and trying to help somebody for your benefit, well, if I help somebody, I'll feel good. It doesn't work out that way. So that balance, that scale must be balanced. The empathy balance and ego drive is so very, very important.
And it takes the studies and the learning of the lessons, as we all agree to. And you know, it's really interesting, because when you really go from within and you really take the time and engage yourself with what's going on in your life, you'd be surprised at what you can come up with. Learning how to balance your emotions, learning how to live in life to its fullest. Like you're saying, Mary Louise, I mean, live with love, live with compassion, and do unto others. And I think there's so many of us learning that more now than ever before, especially the way things are today, things that are happening that we've never, ever had to deal with before. And I know for myself, even though I've watched my husband through all of his competitions and his studies, his discipline, his supplements, his good eating habits, which of course I do most of the cooking, because he's kind of like not allowed in the kitchen.
He doesn't even allow me in the kitchen. I don't blame her. I can't even boil water.
So I take that over, and I realize that it takes work to be a champion, whether you're a champion in the ring or a champion in life. And my husband always says, everyone was born a champion, right? There's a champion inside all of us, and it's what we do with it. It's our belief system. For us, as Mary Louise says, we're very faithful, we pray, and we understand that so many things can happen when you have that belief system that works. And I mean, today I think there's more people getting down on their knees and praying for others, because everyone needs it more than ever today. And mastering all the components that it takes for that self-mastery with ourselves more than anything. And that's what has spilled over as a champion for you, and for you, Mary Louise, right? In your own lifestyle. It spills over into business.
Absolutely. One of the things I'm learning during this COVID pandemic is how powerful is community. And, you know, just like I would never have been a champion in Taekwondo without an extraordinary master, coach, mentor. Each and every person I work with, you know, we do what we call recruit group. And we are all contributing our life's experience to each other. So I think in the mastery game, you cannot do it alone.
No.
It doesn't fit. It's just not in that domain. And together we're going. That's why relationship is so important in the mastery game. If you are once a student, then you become the teacher, and you give back, and you grow the art as the art grew you.
Yes.
And then you grow more as the teacher. But even when you are the teacher, there's going to come along somebody that what Grandmasters talked about, the humility and empathy, is that it's an openness, a desire for the best of life, and you're expecting it, you're looking for it from other people, and I'm listening for it. When I meet somebody, I'm listening for who are they in my life, and you know, how are they going to contribute to me? Somehow that, I don't know, it lifts the space. Space is interesting, whether it's physical space. There's no such thing as void space. Space is filled with energy.
Absolutely.
And we're either closing down space, or we're opening up space
Yes.
in everything we do. And that's so much a part of the mastery game. Completion, like in my home, in physical space, if I bring excellence and completion, you know how you walk by something and it just grabs your attention and you go, oh, I got to fix that. I got to clean that up or whatever. I've got to do something with that. Well, I'll let it nag me long enough, and I'll go back and complete it. And there's something about completing it that I see a next level in my physical space that I didn't see before. So all of these aspects of learning, practicing, developing, growing, then creating into the space with who you are. But then, you know, even if you, like they call me Master Zeller because I achieved a 6th-degree black belt. And yet there's, you know, a true master is humility, always open, always accepting, always learning and growing and not knowing.
Yes.
So
Yes.
the whole domain of knowing, the mastery in life, is in not knowing and
Yes.
looking and seeking.
And being open. I love that when you say that. You know, it's interesting. This thought came through as you were talking, and we're all still learning, and we're in that combination. Almost sounds like an oxymoron, the beginning and the finishing stages, where Master Kelly and I are where we are supposed to be, where we've always wanted to be, to give back, to have a platform that goes globally all around the world to share how to become a master in your own life and to be able to be self-sufficient and independent and away from some of the things that are facing us out there in the world. The other thing is I know for a fact that if you do not master the discipline of what is going into your body, it's going to come back and bite you. Am I right about that, guys and gals?
Absolutely.
And that's one of the things that is really part of our Lives Rebuilt series, because how many of us feel like we're rebuilding our lives today since March? Since people losing their jobs, losing their income, losing their sanity, even if it's temporary, and there's so much going on. And we often say, if it's going to be, it's up to me. We must give back. And that's what we're doing here with you, Mary Louise, and with our products. And we're not here to try to just sell you something. We're here to motivate and inspire people to let you know that there are alternatives. And before we get started, I know we just have half a show left, but we can all talk fast and get everything out that we need to do. But the one thing that I do want to say is I don't want anyone to think that we are here to diagnose or make any claims to cure pain or illness or disease or anything like that. What we're here to do is to share with you what we're doing in order for our own self-mastery in the discipline of mastering every component in our lifestyle today. And we started on these products thanks to you for giving us a call. As we said before, when one door closes, another one opens, and there's Mary Louise Zeller. Hey, can we talk? I've got something I want to tell you. Well, this is us, since April. Since April, we've been on these products. We started out with a triangle of health. And I cannot even begin to tell you the results that we have been receiving on these with feeling better and helping just have that better sense of well-being. But these aren't just any other supplement. These are the hero products from the company Kyani. And that's why we love them so. There's not a whole lot of products to confuse you. We take the guesswork out. And this is where you started. How many years ago, Mary Louise, were you competing when you were taking the Kyani products?
I was still competing, and it's been almost 12 years now.
Ah, so I know you have a little story like Master Kelly does about this little guy here, the nitro. So I'm going to let you start talking about the triangle of health, and we'll chime in. We only have less than a half hour to go, but these are so powerful and important for everybody to at least take a look, listen.
And I'll
The
second
Reader's
that.
Digest condensed version, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
Ionic triangle of health. You know, our bodies are water and fat. And we have two products that are water-based. The first one is a superfood, I love your word, of hero nutrition, and it literally is. We've heard of concentrates, but these are extracts from some of the most powerful superfoods. The company literally searched the world. You've heard of acai berry, mangosteen, amla berry, maki berry, some of the ones I hadn't heard of. But the wild Alaskan blueberry is actually the most potent antioxidant ever tested. And the number one ingredient in the Kyani Sunrise, take it first thing in the morning, a little 1 ounce packet that you just rip and sip. And if you worry about, there it is. And if you worry about the kids getting enough nutrition, all the vitamins, minerals, trace minerals are in it too. But powerful, powerful superfood nutrition with that. Is it important in today's world? Sure. There have been studies done that have proven that we're only getting about 25% of the nutrition we used to get in our food, and that is if we eat real food. And a lot of people are just doing packaged, refined, what I call plasta food. But even if you eat real food, you're not getting what we used to get. So we do need to supplement. I really strongly believe. I've been doing that since I was 25. But these are supplements that I've never before encountered. I was surprised because I thought I knew a lot about it. I'm a biologist, research biologist. I worked in cancer diagnosis and research, and with the background in science and sports, I prided myself on really studying superfood supplementation to get a higher performance out of an older body. And I was quite successful with it. And this was actually, I co-authored a book called Secrets of the Fountain of Youth, and it was a world-class runner, Mike Akagi, who introduced me to Kyani 12 years ago. And I was surprised because I already had a good organic diet and was very diet conscious for 25 years already. And have always been into organic foods and really eating well. And supplementation, superfood supplementation. So I didn't expect what I got from that, the Triangle of Health. The first day I took it, I saw quickly mental clarity and increased energy and, missing fatigue, missing body pains and aches like that. So I love, 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 love the sunrise, but the sunset, the 3 capsules that do we need omega-3s? Yes, we're very deficient, and fish oil is a complete EPA, DHA, omega-3. But you better be careful because it has to be from waters that are uncontaminated with heavy metals like mercury, cadmium, PCB, lead. Fat cells bind toxins. So if you have toxins in the water, which most of the oceans of the world are polluted with these heavy metals, they will be represented in the fat cells in what is fish oil, but the fat cells from fish. So first of all, it needs to be pure. But then Kyani has done something extraordinary. They really are this perfect blend of all of nature, because this is all natural food-based supplementation, but in leading-edge science, nanotechnology, that it's designed to all be absorbed at the cell level like that. But the sunset has a plant seed extract from a plant down in Ecuador called the annatto bush, and this seed is the only discovered natural plant-based total 100% fraction of vitamin E called tocotrienol. And if you were to go to National Institute of Health, NIH.com, or PubMed for publicmedicine.gov, and you put in the search box tocotrienols, 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 and you put that in the search box, you could read from now to the rest of your life about the powerful positive impact on cardiovascular health, your cholesterol picture, and your brain function. Our brains need these essential fatty acids, but also these tocotrienols. And they protect our body from radiation in the environment. That's right in these scientific studies. Even help protect our bodies from the way in which cancerous tumors grow. That's in the studies. It's all right there, PubMed.gov. Just look at tocotrienol. So that for me is a hero product for sure in today's world. But the third one, the Nitro Effects, Nitro Extreme, are nitric oxide precursors, and a precursor, it means it's not synthetic nitric oxide like the pharmaceutical companies went out on the back of that Nobel Prize winning research and produced synthetic nitric oxide. Viagra, you've heard of that? That is synthetic nitric oxide. It was originally a heart drug, and they just discovered that it opened circulation, so it was a help to male sexual potency, and they saw they could make a whole lot more money with that. This is not synthetic nitric oxide in a bottle. These are plant nitrates, nitrites. It's the second generation of nitric oxide precursors, giving your body the building blocks to produce its own nitric oxide. After the ripe old age of 25 years old, just like human growth hormone, your production of nitric oxide goes down about 10 to 15% every decade. That's why, and it's fundamental to cardiovascular health and circulation and cell communication. It's a signaling molecule called neurotransmitter, and that's how every cell and system in your body communicates as a unified organism. So that goes down. That's why older people have cardiovascular disease, and older people have brain dysfunction. Even they're saying early onset dementia, 40, 45 years old, people are suffering with dementia, Alzheimer's, like that. So this, for me, is literally the fountain of youth. That nitric oxide precursor product, we have nitric oxide, nitro effects, nitro extreme. I have never in my entire lifetime come across anything with more real research and more real benefits behind it. You can literally test it for athletics. I can take a 20-pound dumbbell and do 10 reps, struggling on the last two to get to failure. Take my Nitro FX 20 drops and wait 15 minutes, and I can literally double it. No stimulants in any of these products. It is all giving cell function. Right at the cell level, you're producing energy. Right in the little energy factories of the cell, you're just producing more energy in the human body. So greater function. So the Kyani triangle of health for me has literally been the fountain of youth. And that's kind of interesting that Grandmaster wrote a book called 6 Steps to the Fountain of Youth. And my book was The Secrets of the Fountain of Youth. We really have incorporated all of this. I mean, do you need to be well first? Absolutely. If you're not well, there's no creation going on in your life, no full engagement, no growth, nothing. You're just totally focused on what's broken, what's not working. Well, Kyani is just causing me to age differently, and I stay totally well. I've been on it for 12 years. It was again, the hand of God in my life, very important for me to have that. I'm simply not declining at this age. At 76, I teach an exercise class on Zoom every morning at 10. And, a lot of people who are half my age have a hard time keeping up with it. And I just keep strengthening. And the mental agility, mental clarity is better now than it was 15 years ago.
Well, there's so much truth to what you're saying. I could just turn the show over to you because it's so educational and so inspirational. And you're right. You have to engage yourself with a nutritional program. It doesn't matter how good you are at punching and kicking and blocking and all of that, because if you don't have the nutrition to feed your cells, then all of that is for naught. One thing that I wanted to get in here before we move on and talk about the Fit 20 real quick and the HL5 is I actually printed this up today, and I know, Rob, you have it to where you can show it up on the screen. This is what is called the NSF certification, and what this means for athletes is that if you're going out there to compete and if they were testing you, it's A-OK, right, Mary Louise?
Absolutely. Nothing is banned for athletes because there are no stimulants. Mm-hmm. Like I say, you're just getting function at the cell level.
Exactly. So that I really wanted to get that out there. That is huge. And I know that we're going to be getting more athletes that have been coming to us, and I know we're going to have some athletes on as well. In fact, next week we're going to bring the dancer athlete. Miss Emily is going to be coming on, and she's a professional ballroom dance champion, as so is my husband. I don't know if there's anything that he hasn't done, but it doesn't matter what kind of athlete you are. We're athletes in life, just trying to survive this crazy virus that is going on. And with the help of these products that really do get in and just deliver what I feel an optimal optimal program. I haven't felt this good in so many years, and I know my husband agrees as well. And again, we're not here to diagnose, treat, or make any kind of cures to cure claims or anything like that. Just want to make sure everybody understands that. What's one of your favorite things with the Kyani?
The
Nitro?
Yeah, how did you know?
Because
I had to think a minute,
you
'cause
have
it's
that
all so
bottle.
good.
You
I
have that
mean-
bottle all the time. It's
well,
awesome.
I always say, would you rather pay the price of regret or the price of discipline? Regret weighs tons, discipline weighs ounces. So you can teach people to take a product or a service, but if they don't follow through with a good attitude, then it's going to be all used for nothing. The one formula that I love to leave with anyone that listens to me in my life, so to speak, a formula that has taken me from a lousy athlete to a world-class athlete. This played a very important part in my business success. And when I didn't use it, there was my business failures. It's Q plus Q times S equals success. In other words, the first Q is the quality of what you're practicing, or the quality of what you're doing needs to be great. And then it is the amount, the
Quantity.
the amount of the training has to be great. So the Q plus Q, the quality plus the quantity times the spirit and harmony in which that service is rendered. So it's the spirit and harmony that is the key, not the quality of your training or the other side of it, the quantity of your training. So that's why I always like to leave with my favorite saying, my favorite formula, because it took me from, like I say, to a world-class champion. Just always ask myself, what is the quality of my training? What is the quantity of my training? What is my attitude and spirit? Because that is the factor that's going to take us to the top or take us to the bottom. Just how that spirit and quality is. Because the rest of it, it all falls in place when you have that formula down pat. It's so simple, but yet it's so powerful. Then you mix the product with it. Oh my gosh, I don't know if I can even stand it to feel so good. I mean this sincerely. I feel guilty sometimes about feeling so good.
I don't.
Because I see people around me, they don't feel, they're complaining about aches and pains. Gee, I'm glad I don't do that.
I know. Well, you know, one of the first things that you said to me when this COVID hit, when we received one gut punch after another and you lost all of your classes, as so many did with their income, was one of the most important things, hon, is that we exhibit spirit and harmony, share our love, and keep on task with our prayers. And you know, that's exactly what we've been doing, and that's what we're here to share with you. And I'll tell you, we are just so blessed that we're able to feel as good as we do.
Amen.
And believe me, we're no different than any of you out there that is, you know, trying to figure out with the schooling, you know, are they going back to school? Are they not? And when they go back to school, are they going to stay there? When you are taking good care of yourself, I mean, really good care, and that, you know what, that takes work too. Just like it does on a job. It takes work. I often say it's almost like a full-time job, knowing what to take, what not to take. It takes a lot of research. And for those of you that have watched any of our shows, you know that we do our research before we tell anyone about this. We've been on this, we were probably on this a good 6 weeks before we started really going public. Because our names, we're public figures out there, and we have to walk our talk before we bring something to you. We want to make sure that it's something that's worked for us, even though individual results will vary from one person to the next. We've done our homework, and we've done our homework for you. Now it's time for you to jump on board and just give it a consideration. I'm going to give you our web link, which is immuneboosters2020.com. It will describe all the products on there. You can just take your time, and it's very, very easy to understand. And when you can have somebody at the helm of the ship, like Mary Louise Zeller, we do training every single day at 4 o'clock Eastern Time, and we talk about the products, and we help one another if they need some help. And I just want to do a quick shout out. If you're out there, Sean, if you're out there, Maria, Liz, Leanna, or Pete, or Yadvega. I'm trying to think of everybody that tunes in every day, and our Zoom calls every Tuesday and Thursday. and you can just go ahead and private message me or check through my timeline and you'll see what times those are and the Zoom link. And we're here every single Monday at 2 p.m. This is a new time slot for us, and I love it because it's not so hot in the day, and when I'm doing my hair blow drying and all that, I don't get as hot. That's just some. Oh, and since I've been on this, I have not been near as hot as I usually do. How do you like that? I forgot to tell you that.
Yeah, and I'm sure glad.
Yeah, so there's all kinds of benefits, and it's always fun for us to get together with our team and celebrate. Last Friday, we celebrated something that was very exciting for all of us. We were each doing a toast with champagne. It was so fun. It really was.
I like it.
It was really great. So we have just about 10 minutes or so remaining, and we do have the Fit 20, and we have, didn't I put it out there? No, I don't. The HL5. Oh, here's the HL5. These little packets, it comes in the Sunrise and the HL5 and the Fit 20, and I tell you, these are power products, and since my husband's been on these products, I swear, I'll say this for you, it's true. Your guns are really coming back. I've got my husband back yet again. Working out, you got the clearance to go working out after the accident you had in May, and you even feel that too from these products, right?
Right. Well, I'm thinking of coming back out of retirement.
Oh, Mary Louise, help me.
I honestly feel that good. It's
Don't
not so much what I can do, it's so much how I feel.
I know, and you do feel good. And you know what? I wouldn't put it past you, and I bet if you got in that ring next July, you'd pull off a 7th world championship. But we have work to do because we're teaching people, and we don't have time for that now, do we? Or do we?
Kayane's my mastery game now.
You got it.
Me too.
You know what I always say? I say doing the full contact martial arts for 25 years prepared me to do international business.
Boy, that's a really good analogy.
That's
I'm
a
glad
good-
that you
good
said
one,
that.
real good.
So, Mary Louise, now we know that the Fit 20 is different than proteins out there. Can we spend the last few minutes in wrapping up with the HL5 and the Fit 20 because we need protein, right?
Yeah, we absolutely need protein. And I discovered after I stopped I had back surgery about 9 years ago. And after my surgery, I was not training 6 to 8 hours a day. And I decided that, well, I'd been there, done that, gotten my T-shirt. I wasn't going to continue with Taekwondo. And I discovered I was gaining weight, even with my good diet and everything. I guess it just hit my metabolism really hard. I was putting on 5 to 7 pounds a year, and after about 7 years, I was about 35 pounds. So I couldn't drop it, just couldn't drop it. I started researching, and I discovered the older you get, the more protein you need. So I actually get the amount of protein that maybe a 25-year-old male bodybuilder would get, 120 grams a day. That's hard to do without supplementation. You can't eat enough protein in your diet to do that.
And healthy
but all
protein.
protein's not created equal.
That's
you can
right.
buy those big canisters wherever, and you read the label, and they're full of chemicals you can't even pronounce the names, and questionable additives and fillers and sugar even. And so Kayane Fit 20 is, first of all, pure, clean and green. It's got 10 grams of beef bone broth from clean and green beef, grass-fed, no hormones, no antibiotics like that. And it is hydrolyzed, so very easily absorbed again at the cell level. And 10 grams of whey protein. And a lot of times with whey protein, it would upset my stomach. I knew whey protein was a good quality of protein, but I couldn't do it. But this is lactose-free, and this product is also sugar-free. And I don't have any problem in the world with digestion in this product, and you get a good 20 grams of protein. So I do that. But the HL5, for me, it's like dynamite, comes in small packages. And in the morning when I'm going to do my exercise, I take my Nitro Extreme, and then I do my Kayane Sunrise, and I do my HL5. My energy is endless. It just is there, coming from the inside out. And I remember being 60, years old, and knowing my energy was going down, that I was really driving myself with my strong will. So this was great to have this energy, just a fountain of it coming from the inside out. And the HL5 makes a huge difference because it's collagen protein, again, from clean and green beef. And it is important to skin and hair. I mean, collagen, we're like 75% of our body is collagen. Next to water, it's the most abundant molecule in the body. And the older you get, the more you get to maintain. To build muscle at my age is hard to do. I don't care how much weight you're doing. If you're not getting enough protein, you're not going to build and maintain muscle. And what is the heart but a muscle? So you're strengthening your entire body with these products. Great companion to the Kyani Triangle of Health.
Exactly. Those 5 products are really key. I consider them, and so does Master Kelly, we consider those the hero products. Now, we also have a great skincare line that we've all been, I've been using it, but I hide it from I hide it from Master Kelly. I'm going to order him his own. But
the men have it too.
I know.
They've even learned that going to get our little nails done, that is
There you go. That'll work.
That is so true. And we're going to be spending some time on the fluoresce here soon because we're going to be continuing to do these shows on Mondays. And then, of course, we also have the On, and that is another product that we didn't mention, but that is for the brain.
It's a healthy energy shot.
Yes. And you've been
taking
taking
half
that.
of it. And I'm so on. It earned its name. I'm really on with it. I'm beginning to love it a lot.
Good.
That does have a little caffeine in it, and guarana, which are stimulants, which is why I only take half a shot, which makes it really inexpensive.
These
but
products,
I love taking just 2 little sips.
Yeah.
And boy, am I on. I really like that.
I love the names of these products because they're pretty easy to understand too. And when it comes to the Nitro, the FX or the Extreme, just so everyone knows, where is it? No, this one is the FX. But you got the Extreme
Here
over
it
there?
is. Oh, yeah, I didn't want to give it enough.
Oh, it's on your side.
stuff I
You're
like
gonna,
to use.
So we have 2 of these, and Master Kelly is taking the Extreme. You're taking the Extreme, aren't you, Mary Louise?
Well, I do Nitro FX in the morning and Nitro FX in the evening, and I do Nitro Extreme during the day for performance.
Oh, okay. Very good. So, and you will not believe the results. And again, everyone gets different results, but I do need to just do that little disclaimer. And again, we're not claiming to treat or cure or diagnose anything. We just want everybody to be educated. Do your own homework. Try these products. Go to immuneboosters2020.com and you can try the whole lot or just try the Triangle of Health. You try that Triangle of Health and write me personally. I want to hear what you have to say about it. For myself and my husband, believe it or not, we did feel results within the first 1 week and the first 2nd week. We've never had that with any other products out there. And honestly, if you're wondering what to do, if you're thinking about your future and you feel that it's uncertain, whether it comes from health, work, health, wealth, whatever it is, there's always something out there where you can learn how to master something in your life, and then you go on to master something else, and before you know it, it's going to come as an autopilot for you, which is exactly what happened to my husband and I back towards the end of March when we got all those phone calls. We watch and hear on the news, the whole bloody world shut right down. That is enough to make anybody crazy cuckoo. But you know what? We looked at each other, and because of our mastered skill sets over time, just kicked in. We live a heart-centered life. We pray as you do, Mary Louise, and honestly, I have to say that it's really one of the best times in our lives at almost 72 and 82 and starting over from different standpoints, but yet being able to engage in a mastered program that is really no different than a master that goes into the ring to compete in the martial arts, for an athlete in football, baseball, hockey, soccer. It doesn't matter. We all need to learn the mastery of our own selves, of our own self-mastery. And it's not that hard to do, but it's taking one step after another. And after all, do you have children? Do you have grandchildren? Are you leading by example? That is one question that I will leave you with today. And I know there's many of you out there that are saying, yes, I am leading by example. And we like to think we are too, but we're always striving for that next step up. Just one more leg up on it, right?
Right. My grandson took me one time to his first grade class to show and tell. He just, now wear your taekwondo uniform, Grandma.
And did you?
Show them kicks.
Did you?
So, yeah, we lead by example. The thing I would like to leave people with is this perseverance. Like I said, when we first engaged in the martial arts or dance or whatever, we didn't know we were going to be champions. We just persevered. We had that spirit of mastery. We wanted to learn something. We wanted to be the best at something.
Yes.
We wanted to bring our best to it. But it takes perseverance. My mama used to call me a bulldog with a bone. And if you can imagine just giving a good old meaty bone to a bulldog and then go try to take it away from him. So I'm like that with everything I do. I'm just like a darn bulldog with a bone.
And that's okay. It's a good thing. We have less than a minute to say our goodbyes, and I know you can't fulfill in a minute what you would love to say, so we'll save some of it for next time. And thank Mary Louise. And probably the best thing I can say is to just follow your heart. That's how we live our lives. And live like the masters. Learn from the masters. There's so much to learn out there still in the world, no matter what your age is. And I can't thank Mary Louise enough for opening the doors to us, which is what we've been wanting to do ever since we've been together for 22 years. And we are now sitting where we are supposed to be. And I just thank you so much. I'm going to turn it over to Master Kelly, because I bet he can give us one good karate hi-ya.
Are you ready?
We're ready to say goodbye, so make it. So there you have it. God bless everyone, and thanks for joining us today.